Going on for over a dozen years. Go home. Get out. We know our country's better than yours. That's because we filled it with our work ethic and our culture and our values. You being here only dilutes it for us, those who built it and live it. And half of you people, more than half, you won't assimilate. We don't want you. We don't care if you're offended. Get out. Go home. Go back to fucking Haiti. Sorry. I'm thinking about our friends in Ohio who've been dealing with these TPS Haitians for years now, who are drunk driving all over their towns and killing people. This is the whole cats and dogs thing. Like, they don't want to live like Americans live. And this was supposed to be it was supposed to be temporary help. And it's turned into another backdoor way of allowing someone permanent residency here. And they take advantage of all of our public services.
Every single Republican in the Senate helped enable this new and horrifying reality. You don't get to act surprised Trump is empowering Republicans to put politics over health when you voted to confirm RFK Jr. You don't get to act surprised the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade when you voted to confirm Brett Kavanaugh, or when you don't vote to restore the abortion rights you helped rip away. Make no mistake, Republicans would love to ignore the nightmare they made a reality. They don't just want women to stay pregnant, they want them to stay silent. Republicans don't want to hear from the rape survivors they denied care. They don't want to hear from the girls they forced into motherhood. They are hoping the women who were miscarrying and were forced to suffer until they were at death's door because of Republican policies will just be quiet. They are hoping the widowed husbands and grieving parents, the kids who lost their moms, will forget about the women who abortion bans have killed. So we are here today to send a message to every Republican who's hoping to dodge accountability. No way. You are going to own the suffering and pain you've inflicted on the women in this country. And we are also going to send a message to every person who has had their life turned upside down by Republican policies. You are not alone. We hear you, and we are here for you.
I'm Norm Eisen from Democracy Defenders.
Juan Poraño from LULAC.
And we've just had a tremendous victory here at the Supreme Court in the birthright citizenship case. Juan, how you feeling?
I feel great, Norm. A big relief, I have to say. I've been very anxious about the ruling, but incredibly prideful for all the incredible work and support that your team and the community has given to us.
Right back at you, Juan, at the Democracy Defenders Fund and at LULAC. We have been so proud to defend a core American idea that all babies who are born here are citizens of the United States. It's in the Constitution, it's in the plain language. And for more than 100 years, Juan, the Supreme Court embraced that. And what did they do today?
They've, again, supported it as they have in the past. And I think that's the most important thing that could really happen at the end of the day, is that no change to the Constitution or reinterpretation, obviously, of the 14th Amendment.
And for us, we started working on this case 2 years ago because we knew there was going to be a heinous, evil attack to tear away citizenship from some babies, to devastate families and communities, and for Donald Trump to take his Sharpie to the Constitution and rule of law. That matters for everybody, Juan, because if the president is able to pick and choose who has constitutional and legal rights in our country, everything's up for grabs.
He's taken that Sharpie pen to a lot of things, that have really negatively impacted, certainly immigrant communities. And so at least we're able to stand this up, support it, and make sure that it's enshrined for the next 150 years and longer.
And it's the latest success for the LULAC Democracy Defenders Partnership, where at Democracy Defenders Fund, Democracy Defenders Action, we filed this birthright citizenship case that we won today on day one. It was the first of any birthright citizenship cases that were filed. Donald Trump tried to take over elections with his executive orders. We fought that. We got injunctive relief, and now we're fighting the second one. He tried to take over redistricting, Juan.
And mail-in voting.
And we pushed back on redistricting in California. We saved those seats. We went to the South together. We went to Montgomery. We went to the South. We limited the damage after the Calais case, and we filed a brief together, Democracy Defenders on behalf of LULAC, in the Supreme Court to protect mail-in voting. So it's a winning streak for the Latino community, for all Americans, for the Constitution, for rule of law, and the foundation of it all, things like birthright citizenship or free and fair voting. Thank you, Juan, for being such a great partner.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you for everything.
Hi, I'm Natalie Harp, Donald Trump's executive assistant. You may remember me from Donald Trump's porn star hush money trial. I'm the one that used to follow him around with a portable printer, printing only positive news for him. They used to call me the affirmation aide. Well, now I've got a whole other set of nicknames like The Situation, The Natalie Problem, and Secret Service has coined me the Fatal Attraction Threat. But that's only because everyone's alleging that we're having an affair. And sure, I did write him a personal note saying that he is all that matters to me. And sure, I did sleep in the Mar-a-Lago women's locker room just so I could be close to him. But that doesn't mean that we're having an affair. Okay, we are, 100%. I'm in love with him. I mean, I am 100% devoted to Trump. I mean, who wouldn't want that 80-year-old man in his nuclear dust? Yeah, I do control what he sees and posts on social media, but you've got it all wrong. You see those late-night social media posts? Well, that's just our foreplay. All right, baby, I'm going to post something mean about Rosie O'Donnell. You like that? You like that? As you can imagine, things get pretty hot. How would I describe our relationship? Well, I guess one part Fatal Attraction, one part The Apprentice, one part Senior Assisted Living Facility. Yeah, I'm the lucky girl that gets to change his diapers every day. It's my favorite part of the job.
I support transgender women.
Me too, but there are serious fairness issues with trans women competing in women's sports.
Well, I agree, fairness matters, but that's not what's happening.
What do you mean?
Well, people think men are transitioning and competing the next day. Policies have been in place for years to ensure trans women undergo hormone therapy before competing.
But still, they are taking scholarships and winning. Just look at Leah Thomas.
Taking scholarships out of the 1.2 million college athletic scholarships in the past decade, trans women earned 1.
Really?
Yeah, and Leah Thomas, she lost more than she won, and no trans woman has ever won or even placed at the Olympics, ever.
Oh, wow. So if there are policies in place and there's been fairness, then what's the problem?
The problem is the $250 million in ads attacking transgender people and people just like you, making it seem like it's a bigger issue than it is.
I didn't realize that.
Around 70% of people don't know a trans person, so when politicians weaponize fake issues like this, they're creating real violence against trans people for political gain.
I'll be better. Transgender rights are human rights.
Exactly.
I want to play for you one of the most chilling clips I've ever heard. And just hold on and trust me, because it's not that chilling until you realize what it means.
The basic idea was that we could never win an election on getting certain things because we were in such a small minority. But maybe you could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through a technological means. And this is where I think technology is this incredible alternative to politics.
That's tech billionaire and Republican megadonor Peter Thiel speaking at a Libertopia, a libertarian conference in 2010. He's basically saying that his political ideology is so unappealing that it'll never win elections. And that's one thing he's right about, because he's railed against women having the right to vote, complained so much about diversity, and written some really disgusting stuff about sexual assault and consent. But he knows that he can use technology as a unilateral alternative to politics.
$1,000. That is how much Moody's Analytics is estimating the Iran war is costing the average American household. So here's how they get to the number. 300. Let's start at $300 because of higher gas prices to fill up our cars. Then there's $200 because of higher diesel prices, which drive up the cost of food and other products that cost more to transport. How about $100? That's the increased airfare costs because of the price of jet fuel. You're going to remember those increased oil costs came because Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz, where about 20% of the world's oil passes through. Then there's $150 in there because of higher interest rates, and a total of $250 from the overall military spend of this war. That brings the grand total up to, yes, $1,000 in about 4 months since the United States got into this conflict. And according to a new poll from Quinnipiac, most voters, 60%, do not think the military action was worth it to begin with. It is money in your wallet, it is impacting your household, and I definitely thought that you should know.
515 days. Today is June 23rd, 2026. It's been 515 days since January 20th, 2025. Since Donald Trump was sworn in, not placing his hand on the Bible, and saying he was going to fix everything on day one. Saying he was going to cut energy costs by 50% within 1 year. We're way past that. Saying he was going to cut inflation. He was going to make groceries affordable again. Make housing affordable again. And then all of a sudden, everything he couldn't fix was Biden's fault still, and Obama's fault still, and the word affordability is a hoax. 515 days. $100 billion in Iran, not counting lives lost, not counting infrastructure destroyed. An attempted $10 billion lawsuit against the federal government to go into his own bank account, resulting in not $10 billion, but a lifetime of 0 tax fraud investigations. $10 billion to his Board of Peace. And I didn't see a single one of those nations volunteer to assist in the Strait of Hormuz, while Hegseth and Trump and Rubio put guilt trips on our NATO allies. Venezuelan fishermen evaporated from the face of the earth with no actual proof backing up that they were smugglers on their single-engine boats. An Iranian girls' school constantly being told it's under investigation. Forever, without conclusion. Billions of dollars of open, blatant corruption. And Caroline Levitt and the MAGA influencer sphere say, well, at least he's fully transparent about it. While Congressman Comer still going after Hunter Biden to this day for his Burisma connection and the millions of dollars. Peanuts. he was alleged to have made. I say peanuts compared to the billions upon billions of dollars the Trump family has directly made off of the Oval Office. And the cover-up of the e-files continues. While Donald Trump displays his poker face and inserts the number 47 behind every lie, like saying that Obama and Biden spent $147 million on the reflecting pool and the reflecting pool never opened, with zero evidence to back it up, except for the fact that the reflecting pool was always open. I've been there. You've been there. Through multiple presidencies. 515 days. You can't blame others forever.
Trump said to Zelensky, you don't have to actually do an investigation. You just have to announce the investigation. That's what they did. They did that to Hillary Clinton. They spent $25 million going after Hillary Clinton and that Whitewater deal, all that was back in the day. 25 million was something back then. They spent all this money going up her ass, trying to find something to indict. They could never do it, though. They just have to waste everybody's time and money. They got to lecture us on personal responsibility. Take responsibility, Republicans, stop. Just stop already. Stop. Stop with the investigations, your bullshit. Stop. Isn't it exhausting? They must be exhausted, right? Isn't it exhausting acting, fronting all the time, trying to pretend you're something you're not? Just stop. It would be so much easier to just be a sincere partner in governance. Accept the fact that we are a multiracial liberal democracy. Accept the fact that human beings are diverse and different, and some are gay and some are trans. Accept that. Accept that you don't have to be a Christian to be an American. Not that you are Christian, for God's sakes. I mean, just accept it. Take a civics class. Take a class in the Constitution. Get to know it. Get to understand it. Say, okay, I could be a Christian, but I don't have to shove it down everybody's throats. Oh, okay, I can have my godly marriage with my partner, but I don't have to inflict my manias on everyone. If somebody wants to form a legal marriage contract with somebody of the same peepee, good for them. If I don't like that, I keep my business to myself, right? That's it. And some people are trans. That's just the way it is. I don't like it. I don't have to like it. Me liking it doesn't affect their lives, their existence. All I got to do is leave them alone. How about that?
We have a major Epstein Files ruling court victory right now. Katie Fang, a journalist, sued Todd Blanche and won in court just minutes ago. A federal judge has ordered Todd Blanche and the Department of Justice to take key measures to increase transparency in the Epstein Files, including releasing a privilege log that the Department of Justice has been required to release. Essentially, why the DOJ has withheld certain documents for privilege, they're going to have to now release it publicly. The DOJ desperately sought a stay. They didn't want to deal with this. They didn't want to do it. They wanted to appeal it. The judge said no. A major court ruling because the judge agreed that the DOJ has not done enough to comply with the Epstein Files Transparency Act. They have to now explain ASAP why they made certain redactions, and if they can't, they have to release information that they have redacted and kept from the public. Good on Katie Fang. Major victory right now. I'll have more updates for you soon. As always, spread the word. Follow along, stay updated on all the news you need to know about. More to come.
On July 6, 2019, he's being arrested. At approximately 6:25, Jeffrey Epstein spontaneously told the FBI and other law enforcement, quote, "Is this sex trafficking?" And then about a minute to 30 seconds later says, quote, "Is this about underage?" Same date, July 6, 2019, after he tried calling Marty Weinberg, whose name you're going to see again in just a minute, Darren Endike and Kathy Rumler. Just think about this. The feds have come for you. You're under arrest. You're being transported. You've been given the chance to be able to call somebody. Who do you call? In my opinion, I would call my trusted advisors, and that would be my lawyers, right? I'm under arrest by the feds. I am spontaneously uttering to law enforcement, is this sex trafficking? Is this about underage? So who am I going to call? Marty Weinberg, Darren Endike, and Kathy Rumler. Same date, July 6, 2019, a little bit after 7:25. He says, again, Epstein says, quote, this is going back to 2002, 2005. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. So if you're Jeffrey Epstein and you know that something going on is, quote, really bad, you're going to call the people that you trust the most to help you, right? And one of those people is Kathy Rumler. I find it hard to believe, from everything that I have heard and read about Jeffrey Epstein, that he would be such a not present, over-the-top, large figure, like larger-than-life figure in your life. And listen, let's be very clear. The emails and the texts and all the documents in between Kathy Rumler and Jeffrey Epstein corroborate what I am saying. He had an outsized presence in her life. And so now she's saying, no, purely professional, nothing personal, never represented him, none.
That phrase should have no power over people of all faiths ever again in America.
Thank you. Okay.
Now, this is intentionally dishonest, and you would think because Dan Patrick is a professing Christian, he would also know that lying is a sin. He says in this, separation of church and state doesn't exist in the Constitution. The phrase, the name does not, but the principle does. He says earlier in this clip, what, we're supposed to listen to a phrase from Thomas Jefferson in a letter? Who was the letter to, Daniel? In 1802, Thomas Jefferson wrote that letter to the Danbury Baptist to tell them and explain to them how the Constitution protected their freedom of religion and how it separated the federal government from being able to impact their religion. Because the Danbury Baptists were a religious minority that in a state that the Congregationalists had taken over and were persecuting the Baptists. So Thomas Jefferson lays out, one of the founding fathers lays out how the Constitution works for them and explains it to them. And he names it a wall of separation of church and state because he explains that the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment of the Constitution guarantees the free practice of their religion in the sense that the federal government will not create a national religion, it will not endorse a specific religion, nor will it favor one religion over another. Those are Thomas Jefferson's words, who was in the room writing the papers, working with the men who you say you want to follow their original intent. This was their original intent. Then that phrase was taken by the Supreme Court in 1878 and used to establish this separation to protect people of all faiths from the government. It was then reinforced in the 40s, the 50s, multiple times in the 60s and 70s, and the 80s. What you are saying is inherently dishonest. And there's more. On June 5th of 1797, the Treaty of Tripoli passed through the Senate without debate and unanimously. It was negotiated by George Washington, signed by President Adams, and it says in Article 11, the government of the United States is in no way founded on the Christian religion. That comes from the founding fathers. You want to talk about original understanding? That is the original understanding. But why do they keep bringing it back to religion, using the religion as their forefront? They clearly don't care about Christ. If they did, they'd be feeding the poor, taking care of kids, welcoming the stranger, making sure people get due process. They would be doing all of the things they're not doing. They support candidates who protect human trafficking or do things with minors or commit adultery or bribery or corruption, and they are so open about their support. So why do they keep bringing it back to religion? Because if they can establish their movement as a movement of religion, as a movement of faith, if they can turn it into spiritual warfare, then the people that disagree with them are no longer a political opponent. They are the very enemies of God. Every choice you make, every policy decision you now have makes you doing God's will. So therefore, your enemies are God's enemies, and it enables you not to just dehumanize them, but enact violence against them and justify it. James Madison said the goal of the separation of church and state is to keep from these shores the ceaseless strife that has soaked the soil of Europe in blood for years.
What are your plans for the housing bill, Mr. President? Are you?
I don't know.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Oh yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Testing. Are we hooked up? Good to go? Are we good to go? Test. Say something, John. Oh, here we go. All right, looks like we're on. It's 9:54 a.m. in the Pacific Time Zone. Welcome to the Trucker John Livestream, where it is currently 94 degrees? No, it's only 84 degrees. Oh, it went up to 86. 86 degrees here in out here on the Outer Rim, otherwise known as Boulder Highway in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your patience. Contrary to Nick Rich and Mr. Spock, I saw you. No, AI does not make my intros. It does not take seconds. It takes me hours to compile, to find the clips, compile the clips, edit down the clips, put the clips in a certain order, adjust the clips, and then download it. It takes a couple hours, 2-3 hours, just so you know. It's not AI, all right? All right. And I try to do it the morning of the show to try to get as fresh stuff as I can get. Although there's probably fresher stuff, but I try to get stuff that's kind of pertinent, what I feel is pertinent to the show, to the theme of the show. The title of the show today was Can't We All Get Along? And I found a clip where people were not getting along very well. The opening clip, people are like, looked like they weren't getting along. Okay, so if you see that took thought, that took some thought on my part to find that clip and put that clip where I put it. So just so you know, it's not AI, and it doesn't take seconds. It takes hours to put that together. All right. It wasn't. Now I did cook breakfast as the intro was playing. After I made everything, after I made the clip, put it together, after I downloaded it from I make it in iMovie. Okay, I guess full disclosure, I use the iMovie little film editing. That's all it is. Very simple, very basic, but it's very slow process to edit. It is, but anyhow, I use that. Then I download that onto my phone, and then once it's on my phone, then I can put it into the Prism app, and then start the show basically. So as the intro was playing, it was a 26-minute intro. I had plenty of time. At that time, yes, I did. I wouldn't made myself a cheese omelet, if you don't mind, Nick Rich. If you don't mind that I had a little fucking breakfast. I made myself some coffee and a cheese omelet. Excuse the hell out of me. Jesus Christ. Anyhow, but thank you for being here. I did see that Paul Burrows was first, as usual. I think probably before the sun comes up, because Paul Burrows is an early riser, and I hope Paul Burrows is doing okay. Was here very, very early. I do see Brooklyn just has been a member for 13 months. Thank you, Brooklyn. Brooklyn SJU says great job on the clips. Let's see, the thing moves. Great job on the intro clips. Job on the intro. Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you, Brooklyn, and thank you for being a member. Yippee going out to Brooklyn. I do appreciate you. We have memberships, folks. $1.99 a month. Starting at $1.99 a month. And it really is the backbone of the support mechanism for this show. So if you want to consider becoming a member, starting at $1.99, man. Where do you get value like that? Where else can you get value like that? Nick Rich, try a little harder to offend me, John. Well, that's about it. I think that's about it. That's about, I can't think of anything else. I'm glad you're here, Nick. But I just want you to know that this is not AI. I mean, I'm not using AI doesn't take seconds. It's a 2-3 hour process. Okay? But thank you for being here. Thank you for playing. I appreciate you guys, though. Like I said, we got those memberships. Thank you for being a member, Brooklyn SJU, and all the other members. We have 50, 60 members. And hey, and by the way, today is the last day of the month. So we do have a goal. We do have a super chat goal of 5. Today is the last day of the month. So if you want to help support the show for the month of June, today's the last day. I'm trying to adjust this thing here. I've been thinking about maybe buying a new camera stand. I don't know. They're not that much. I mean, I don't need anything fancy. I was looking at some camera stands that might work. They're what, $20 or something. So I was thinking about getting one, but then I'm thinking, I have this one that works. It works good. It just sometimes it falls. Especially when I mess around with it too much. Anyhow, there that is. Okay. But thanks, guys, for being here. Yeah, so we've got memberships. We've got PayPal. We've got buy me a coffee and all that kind of stuff. So last day of the month to get those donos in for this month. All righty. Nick Rich is here. Mr. Spock is here, saying they're having a heat wave in Toronto or something. I don't know. But Stephanie B2 says it's been a mild summer in Central California. So that's always good, I think, because it can get. I've been to Central California. It can get just as hot, if not hotter, than the Mojave Desert where I am from. So anytime, if you can delay the heat, all the better. We had an early start to our heat here. We're now going through a little bit of a cooling trend with staying in double digits, which is nice. It's been really nice because earlier, even in March, we were already hitting over 100 degrees. And a couple weeks ago, we were consistently pushing 110, and that's pretty hot. So it's really nice when we get these 98-degree days and 95-degree days. I can handle that a lot better. So anyhow, Stephanie B, hope everything's going well with you. DPD is here. Hello, DPD. Thanks for being here. iPeople yesterday is here. I don't know what's going on with my stupid iPad. I'm trying to look at the chat, and it did weird things. iPeople yesterday says my peppers and tomatoes are still wearing sweaters in Western Washington. Nick Rich is 80 degrees here. I need a cold drink. Go pop yourself open a frosty one. Go have a cold one, Nick. Josh Sees is here. Hey, always good to see Josh Sees in the driver's lounge. Josh Sees of the theater. I do believe the production is closed. I believe they've wrapped production on their play in the theater. On to the next, right? Right, Josh? On to the next. and all that. Anna Moore's here. Hello, Anna. Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Williams is here. William, not Williams. William, 19143 is here. Good to see you. As always. Who else we got in the old chat room here? We got MJ Daniels from up there in Washington State says, I'm sure they plan on something worse than getting rid of the 14th. I did see a comment by MJ Daniel who said something about the Constitution. We'll get to that in a minute. And I happen to have my copy, my pocket Constitution here. So I'm going to read that in a second. Anna Moore says she has chosen to die on that hill, Nick Rich. Oh, about Megyn Kelly. Yeah, you know, can't we all just get along? Well, when you have people like Megyn Kelly being just with her Nazi rhetoric, it's hard for us to get along, isn't it? Her Nazi racist screed? Is it a screed? Is screed the right word? MJ Daniel says Kelly is a creepy scarecrow on meth. I don't know if she's on meth, but she's a person who, as far as her body weight, was perfectly fine. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's like on Ozempic just to get skinnier. Now, I don't know if she is. I don't know. But she does look really skinny. And she's a person who had a perfectly fine, like, body weight ratio, body height ratio or whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was taking Ozempic or something, or one of those type of drugs, right? But I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if she is. DPD, hey, DPD says, keep in mind we have 2 more years of this bullshit, which means the orange pedophile could replace Uncle Thomas and Alito. Yep, that's, in fact, he probably will. I mean, probably at least Thomas, because, they could probably talk Thomas into retiring because he's in his 80s. Alito's is younger, right? I know he's younger than Thomas. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if they replace some of those older ones with newer models, so to speak. Roxanne Armfield's here. Hey, Roxanne, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Always for coming on in. Anna Moore says, hello, TJ. We are 1 day closer to the midterms. Don't forget to check if you are still registered to vote. A good place to go is vote.org, and that will take you to your state. I don't know if it's the AG or what department that is. I always forget. But the state, whatever regulatory body of your state handles your voting, it'll take you to it, and you can put in your info there and see if you make sure your registration is good. And I do that. I do that quite often, just to make sure. And we had some good. We've had some good decisions come down from the Supreme Court. Speaking of Supreme Court, we will be able to have mail-in balloting and voting. That's good, and that was in the intro also. The thing is, though, we can't rest on our laurels, and I think we should still be concerned about Trump's pick for Postmaster General. The current Postmaster General. That's, even though he's elected by the Board of Governors, that was who Trump wanted, and he seems to be this Postmaster General. Was it Steiner? He seems to be a Trump loyalist, and when he was asked in a hearing under oath that what was the question? If you receive mail-in ballots from states that don't hand over the voter registration rolls to the White House? Will you count those ballots? And he said no. Steiner said no. Now, whether or not that actually happens, I don't know. But so just know we still have to be vigilant and get on this motherfucker and make sure that every vote is counted, even if it comes from a blue state or a state that doesn't hand over the registration rolls to Trump. Nick Rich, nobody needs $1 billion. I do. Anyhow, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. Not kidding. I mean, if someone gave me $1 billion, or if I earned $1 billion, I mean, But if somebody asked me, if I was running for, let's say, I don't know, governor of California, and someone and I happened to be a billionaire, let's say, and someone asked me, should billionaires exist? Let's say in an interview, my immediate answer would be no. I'm talking to you, Tom Steyer. It's probably why you lost the primary, because people could see right through you. Maybe, I don't know. You don't hem and haw and come up with some sorry ass explanation. You just say no. Billionaires should not exist, even though I am one. That's the answer. The answer is, if someone asks you, should billionaires exist? The answer is no. That doesn't mean that you automatically don't exist. It means that you believe that there should be wealth taxes that tax people, that tax billionaires and trillionaires now to the level where they're no longer billionaires or trillionaires. Really simple question, really simple answer, and Tom Steyer really muffed that one. That was when he did an interview with what's her name? Francesca, the former TYT, one of those TYT hosts, or I guess you call him a host or a contributor or whatever. And now she has her own YouTube channel called the Bituation Room, I think it's called. Bituation, play on the word situation. And that just sticks with me when she asked Steyer that. It was a great question. And he fumbled it. He totally blew it in my eyes. Because he was like, well, I think we're going to do some things, and we're going to, me and my wife, we're donating all our money. We're getting, have you done it yet? No, but we're doing it. We're setting things up to donate a bunch of our money and blah, blah, blah. That's fine and dandy, but that's not the issue, Tom Steyer, if you're watching. That really isn't the issue about you donating your money. The issue is, do you believe that in passing legislation that would tax billionaires and trillionaires to the point where they're no longer billionaires or trillionaires? That's it. It's not about you giving money away. It's not about the largesse of the billionaire. It's about having legislation about taxing the billionaires. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I think Nick Rich said tax the billionaires. Got me off on this tangent. Did I skip Jolie? There's Jolie. Hello, Jolie. Thanks. I didn't mean to skip over you. Michelle is here. Hello, Michelle. James Jaramillo. James Jaramillo is here. Good to see James. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Did I skip anybody else? I don't know. It happens. Ruben Michaels is here. Ruben Michaels says Drunken Hexeth is a murdering bastard. And I really sincerely hope that he will, that justice will prevail in all these murdering bastards. Trump's a murdering bastard. Hegseth is a murdering bastard. Stephen Miller is a murdering bastard because he's in Trump's ear and he influences him so much. Yeah, I really hope that they have the justice on them that is necessary, something like that. Just skip it on down a little bit here in the chat. Skip it on down. I'm still in the chat when the intro was playing because people are commenting on the intro. The beautiful intro that I took hours to make and did not use, and AI was not used to make my intro. It did not take seconds. The Fowler up there, Mr. Spock, said it took seconds. It took hours. Let's see. DPD says, I love Katie Fang. She's awesome. She's awesome. She's really awesome. MJ Daniel, how are the scary trans and gay people harming you, MAGA? Grow the fuck up already. The whole trans thing, this is Trump and the Republican Party just knowing that the right wingers hate the LGBTQ plus community, so they're using that as a thing to run on. Now, by the way, I forgot to plug in my microphone. I think from Sunday when I did a impromptu Sunday night live stream. We did 4 hours on that live stream. I couldn't believe it. Anyhow, I forgot to plug in my mic. So I didn't plug it in until, I don't know, I might have got 40 minutes charge on it when I discovered it. So be on the lookout. I'll be on the lookout. Also, if the mic stops working all of a sudden, it could happen. We're on about 40 minutes charge. So I'll probably still get a couple hours out of it, hopefully. Just skipping down. James Amrio's here. MJ Daniel. I'm just looking in the chat here. Nick Rich says cults are dangerous. Roxanne, are you finding some excellent clips? Well, I'll let you guys be the judge of whether they were excellent or not. Nick Rich 954. So what am I about? 21 minutes behind? I guess I'm only 21 minutes behind. I'm only 21 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 21 minutes behind. Anymore. What are you going to do about housing crisis, Mr. President? Nothing. I only represent the greedy. This is Anamore, sort of supposing what Trump would say. Nothing. I only represent the greedy, deplorable people of America. I think that's pretty accurate of the mentality of Trump. WW is here. Hey, W, good to see you. Thanks for coming in to the driver's lounge. WW says it's 88 degrees here with a 70% noontime humidity. Oppressive to say the least. Yeah, that's a lot of humidity. I wonder, will my watch tell me the humidity? Here in Vegas, I bet you it's like 5% or something. I don't know. Let's see. Where could I find it? Where's my weather app? I got so much shit on here. Let's see. Where's the weather app, man? Here's the weather channel. Will that tell me the humidity? It says 90. It's 90 degrees. It says now and sunny. They never really tell you the humidity out here. I don't think. Anyhow, I was just curious as to the the difference between here and there. I don't know. Suffice it to say, our humidity is almost zero, probably. I'm just coming to the chat where Brooklyn has a truck is posting her truckiversary, I guess we call it. Happy truckiversary once again to Brooklyn SJU, aka Trixie LaRue. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate you. Josh C says 87 in the shade, 69% humidity up there in Buffalo, New York. Yeah, Nick Rich, try a little harder to offend me, John. Just like I was only joking. All right. Gino Maynard is here. Hello, Gino. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. Josh says, make a new camera stand out of chopsticks. That would be funny. I wonder how many chopsticks it would take. Like 1 million? Probably take like 1 million of them, dude. Probably take like 1 million chopsticks to make a camera stand, I bet. I'm gonna say probably 1 million. Yeah. Probably like 1 million. James Armino will be back. We'll be back. WW with the Truckiversary, 19 months. Yippee to WW. Thank you so much. 19 times $1.99. What a value. Yeah. You can't get value like that anywhere else. Nola Carnes says, I am weeding, so just be listening. Well, happy weeding. Be careful with the weed whacker. You know, don't want any accidents out there. DPD says, to let everyone know how fucked we are when it comes to climate change, Montana has snow in fucking June. In June. I'm not sure how unusual that. I mean, I'm not debating you about climate change. I believe that we are definitely seeing the effects of climate change, but I'm not so sure if Montana is as unusual to get snow in June. I don't know. Things can get weird up there. It's beautiful. Montana is a beautiful country. I've driven through there over the years, and sometimes you can get these weird, freaky weather fronts, like well, I was gonna say even 15, 20 years ago, but this climate change thing has been going on since before then too. So, anywho, yeah, but it's crazy. It's crazy weather. Gina Maynard says MAGA wants their own version of the Constitution. And I do have my copy here of the Constitution. And it says here, now I believe this first paragraph is the preamble. Is that what's known as the preamble? Let me read the preamble of the Constitution of the United States. I believe this is the preamble. It doesn't say preamble, but unless I'm confusing that with something else. But yeah, it says, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity in order. Oh, wait, wait. It's kind of dark in here. I have a magnifying glass, and I still can't see. And secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves. Why am I not seeing this word? Is it posterity? Okay, there we go. This is what I need to do. And our posterity do ordain and establish the Constitution for the United States of America. Article 1, Section 1. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. I don't know. That's our constitutional moment today on the Trucker John Show. Trucker John Livestream. Here on the Trucker John Livestream. DPD says, Megan, and I don't care how I spell her name, but she's a soul sucker, which still doesn't satisfy the bitch. Yeah, I kind of had a whole, thing on her. I think on the last show, on the last week, about how she got out of Fox News, place where she claimed to be like she was being sexually harassed by Roger Ailes, I believe. Got a big cash settlement from them and got out of that place, and she had a chance, I think, to. She's got her own show. She's got this I don't know, podcast or whatever you call it, and she had a chance to do something good, but instead she is just spouting the same hatred and bigotry that Fox News does. So at the end of the day, I mean, I guess she's a woman that was being sexually harassed, but who also happens to be a racist and a bigot. And so I'm not saying she doesn't I'm not saying that the treatment that she got was justified or right. And that was wrong, and I'm glad she sued and all that. But at the end, it's not like that makes her automatically a good person. I guess I don't know what I'm saying, but maybe I guess bad people can be sexually harassed too. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm moving on. Moving on. Moving on. DPD says we should not be satisfied with recent rulings of the illegitimate SCOTUS just because they throw us a couple of crumbs. Well, I think these were more than just a couple of crumbs. These were pretty big decisions. I mean, these were kind of foundational things. So I think it's pretty important. I mean, I understand the sentiment there that it's not like all is forgiven with the John Roberts court and with the conservatives that are on the court for some of their decisions that they've made. But and it's not like it's all good from here on out. We still have to be vigilant and on them. But I think these decisions that have been coming out are actually more than just crumbs. All right, let's keep it on down a little bit here. Danny Pomeroy apparently is here because someone said hello to Danny Pomeroy. I must have missed him. But hello, Danny. Good to see you. Gosh darn it. This is so frustrating, this iPad and how it I'm trying to read the chat, and then all of a sudden it swipes away. Really pisses me off. But I'm trying to not, show my anger. Okay, where was I? I'm trying to get back to where I left off here. Paul Burrows is back. Not sure if Paul Burrows ever left, but Paul Burrows is here. Hello, Paul. Mr. Bob Newell is here. Hey, Bob Newell, good to see you. What's up, Bob Newell? Mr. Bob Newell? I can't hear you. Gino Maynard says it's not just the religious piety. Conservatives think the LGBT hurt their birth rates, so they hate them. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that, Gino Maynard. I used to go on. Do you guys remember? I think Jolie remember what was it? What was the guy Frog? Super Frog? No, what was Frog's name? Remember there's something Frog. I used to, I used to listen to his show and go in their chat. It's a total right wing, very ultra right wing group, and I used to hang out in there, and we were on, I think, pretty friendly terms. We always try to keep it friendly and respectful, and I'll give them credit for that. They wouldn't really jump on me because I would put my little 2 cents worth, my little lefty 2 cents worth into the chat, and everyone was pretty cool. Not Pepe. Is Jolie still here? What was Frog? Something Frog. Anyhow, I guess it doesn't matter. But and they were, well, he was doing this whole show one time and really kind of coming out against gay rights. Jolie, I don't remember. Well, I know you would go in there sometimes too. It's been a while. It's probably been like a couple of years, I guess. But yeah, he was doing a show, and they were all really kind of bashing gay people and saying how wrong it is and all that kind of stuff. So then I think I just said something like, "So why are you guys so against gay people? I mean, what's the deal? Why can't you just let people just live their lives? And what business is it of yours?" And it wasn't Nick Fuentes, no. It's no one famous. It's just another small creator like me. In fact, he pretty much moved all of his stuff, I think, to Truth Social or something. But I think he still has a channel here on YouTube. But he was railing against YouTube, saying, "Oh, they take too much of my money," or or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I asked him. I go like, "So why are you so against people just being themselves, living their lives, and being able to live in peace and freedom? And what is it about gay people that you hate?" And his response was, and he didn't say we don't hate. He didn't say I don't hate gay people. He did not say that. He said it was because it was something about the birth rate, like Gino was saying. I forget the exact response, but it was something like because they can't procreate, and we need more people, and we need to procreate. It's like it's a commandment of God to procreate, to be fruitful and multiply and all that shit. So that was his response. And this guy was pretty right wing. I think he's pretty typical of your typical, maggot. He's full on maggot. So you're not wrong, Gino. So when you said that, it just reminded me of that. When you said it's not religious piety, conservatives think LGBTQ hurt their birth rates, and that checks out from my conversation there with God, with the frog guy. I can't remember why can I not remember his name? Like I said, we always had the pretty respectful conversations and everything. So I do give them credit for that. Him and this whole little group there. We're always, we kept it respectful. I do see DPD with a $20 super chat. Yippee! Thank you so much. I'll read your super chat as soon as I get down to it. I mean, I can see it on there, but it's going to go away, so I'll get to you. But thank you so much, DPD. I do appreciate you. WW says, "Oh, Vegas currently has 19% humidity. Wow, that's a lot more than I thought it would be." James Sarmio says, "I'm going to design a T-shirt. Don't like it? I guess on the top, and then the middle, fuck you. Wait, don't like it. Top, middle, fuck you, bottom. Well, there's only two things, so, but that's three places. I don't know. Anyhow, don't like it? Fuck you. Yeah, I guess that'd be a good one. I'm not sure if that's a way of promoting us to get along. Just for today's question of today, can we get along? So the question of the day, I guess, is, can't we all get along? Are we capable of getting along? Is there any way that we can get along? Whatever that means. What does that even mean? What do I mean? What do I even mean? Can fellow Democrats get along? That's really what I think I was thinking, not just about liberals versus conservatives or Democrats versus Republicans. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get along, but will people just in our own party get along? We saw how James Carville and some of these old dinosaurs almost literally crying when, I guess, what was it, 3 or 4 Democratic Socialists won some primaries in New York, which is a very liberal, progressive state. So, I mean, it's not too far-fetched that you're going to have some Democrat Socialists, win there. James Carville acted like it was the end of the fucking world. Because if you ain't getting AIPAC money, honey, then he don't want nothing to do with you. So can we Democrats at least get along? Now I did. Okay, let's get a. It's not really a meme. Let's see. Maybe I didn't save it. I don't think I saved it. But it was just anybody who, if you subscribe to Indivisible, then you got this the same email that I did, and it was from Ezra Klein or whatever his name is. I think it was whoever wrote it. I don't know, but I think it was about addressing this issue of this sort of Democratic infighting or whatever, and how some of these Democrats are losing their shit over Democratic Socialists of America winning some primaries. And I just took a screenshot of it, but I don't have it in here. I thought it was really good about about how we should handle this. I'm not sure. Let me get my magnifying glass out here. Let's see here. Can't see. I've got my all-star ballot. I took a screenshot of that for some reason. Let's see. Is this it? This might be it here. Oh no, that's not it. Oh, that's Liberal Dan. That was something. So I guess I don't have that. I thought I took a screenshot of it. Well, whatever. But basically, what Indivisible is saying is that in the primaries, and this is common sense. In the primaries, yeah, vote for whoever you want, whomever you want. Whether it's Graham Plattner or someone else, or whether it's one of these, if it's a DSA candidate, or if it's an old school establishment Democrat, whomever you like, you vote for them in the primary. But as a good Democrat, when the general election comes around in November, you vote for that. You vote for that person who won the primary in your party. If you're a registered Democrat, support your fucking party by voting for the winner of the primary. You put your differences behind you. Okay, boo-hoo, wah-wah, your candidate didn't win in the primary. Okay, pull up your big boy pants, go to the polls, fill out your ballot, and vote for the fucking party nominee who won the nomination. And then you win the fucking thing. Then you win that seat. That's the most important thing, really. And then afterwards, then you can start arguing about the issues, and you can start, if that candidate is that won maybe isn't doing things that you think are right or isn't hitting the right issues, then you can start mailing and calling and and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing is winning the goddamn election. And if you're a Democrat, you want Democrats to win. You don't want to, like, there are Democrats, I believe, like James Carville, that would rather see a fucking Republican win than someone that they don't like. If they don't like a Democratic Socialist, or if they don't like Graham Plattner, and I don't know Carville's view on Plattner, I don't know. But the point is, if I believe there are Democrats that would rather see Susan Collins win than Graham Plattner. And I don't know how you can call yourself a Democrat if that's how you feel. Win the goddamn seat. Win that Senate seat. Majorities are so important to have in the Senate and the House. It's so fucking important to have that majority. And it's not, again, if Graham Plattner was a total, deserving of, say, going to prison, he did something so awful, he deserved to be incarcerated for it, then I could see people, not voting for him or whatever. But I think that it's kind of ridiculous to kind of switch sides in this case. And then the case of a Democrat, especially when you're talking about just these Democratic Socialists who won seats in New York, and there might be some other across the country. This might spread, but so what? So the fuck what? They're Democrats, and like I said, there's a great overlap of common interests, I believe, that the centrists and the moderates have. People who are liberals, people who are say they're progressives, people who claim to be, these Democratic Socialists. There's a great overlap of commonality. It's not like you're, voting for something completely 100% different. There's still lots of commonality, common goals, common issues. So that's all I got to say about that. Roxanne says, Trucker John, you're finding excellent clips. Thank you so much. But yeah, here's kind of touching on, doggone it. Oh my God, I hate this setup. I hate this setup so much. Oh, son of a bitch. It's so stupid. This is from the AP. This was from this morning. Breaking: the Supreme Court upholds birthright citizenship. rejecting Trump's proposed limits. I think that's a big story. I think it's a big story, and it's because that's something that the right wing, they've been after that really, way before Trump. I remember talking about this issue with my brother during the George W. Bush administration, so early 2000s. And my brother, who's a right winger, was like, trying to defend that position and bringing up something that James Madison said or something. And I'm like, dude, I don't really care what James Madison said. The language of the Constitution is pretty clear. The 14th Amendment is pretty clear. So whatever it was that James Madison was saying, it didn't make it into the final language of the Constitution. Birthright citizenship is pretty well spelled out. In fact, I have a Constitution right here. Should we go to the 14th? Wasn't that the 14th Amendment that everyone cites? Ooh, there's a bit of a stain on my Constitution for some reason. Anyhow, I think I can still read it. Here's the 14th Amendment, Section 1. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges. I think there's more. Boy, this page gets small print, even smaller print. And it's kind of dark in here. Or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction equal protection of the laws. And there's more. There's other sections of that amendment. There are five of them, but I won't go into all that. But yeah, so the 14th Amendment, very, very clear, very, very clear. And, and yet there were still four Supreme Court justices that voted to strike that down, right? Those are the Trump lickspittles, of course. WW says conservatives don't seem to have their own minds. Who is this person claiming to be WW? And what have you done with the real WW? Nola Carnes, a $5 super sticker. Yippee! Thank you so much, Nola Carnes. I'm just now getting to that. Thank you so much for the cute little, I guess those are hippos or something coming out of the water. Thank you, Nola. Appreciate you. Nick Rich, have you been making any birthday greeting tunes lately, Wes? I did just see one. I see him on Facebook. Wes, just so you know, I always watch your little birthday videos, and I give you a thumbs up. Just so you know, I'm one of the thumbs uppers on those. WW or Wes or whomever. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. WW says, in fact, I made one this morning. Mr. Bob Newell, have you had an alien encounter? I've talked about my alien UFO sightings before. I don't know if I want to do that again. I've seen strange stuff in the skies. I've never come in contact with any extraterrestrials, if that's what you mean, right? Yeah, but I have seen some strange stuff in the skies. Aaron West is here. Jolie's here. Now, hopefully, I'm probably 20 minutes behind in the chat. Nick Rich does say we're at full mod capacity, but this is probably 20 minutes ago. Anamore says the preamble is written on the wall of the Lincoln Memorial. There you go. Aaron West says, I'm on a clear liquid diet today, so I'm a little cranky. Um, Aaron West says, my therapist decided to eat on camera, even though I told her I was on a liquid diet today. Ugh. That's not very cool. It's not very cool. Yeah, going in for your colonoscopy. Yeah, that's what I thought when when I heard you say the clear diet thing. I need to get one. I'm due for a colonoscopy. I've had a few. I need to get another one. Let's see. Jolie doesn't remember. Yeah, so I'm just down to the chat where I was asking about. Is it Senior Frog? No. That's a restaurant. I got it. I can't remember who. I can't remember. He might be listening. I don't know because he used to years ago. He used to listen, and when I would bring up his name, then all of a sudden he would pop in and go, "Hey, you're talking about me," or whatever. But it's been years. I don't think he listens to the show anymore. Just now, DPD, I apologize. I'm just now getting to your chat, your super chat. So once again, yippee to DPD. Thank you so much. I'll give you a thumbs up and a heart. DPD says, as a minority in this country, it's a constant reminder that this illegitimate SCOTUS can wipe away my rights and others and deem us 3/5 a human. This may sound trivial, but this is our reality, stark and very bleak. Hey, don't apologize or anything like that. We did have slavery on this continent, like before we became a country, or before we became the United States. Slavery was here, and then once we became this free country with the Constitution, talking about human rights and all these rights, we still had slavery, at least mostly in the lower half, the southern half, but slavery, we still had legal slavery in this country, even though we had this beautiful thing called the Constitution, espousing all these rights, these human rights and everything. And it took, a civil war to end that. And then we've had, ever since, the racism didn't just go away. The bigotry, the racism, the inhumane treatment of people of color, black people, particularly with this issue. It didn't just magically go away. I mean, we're still dealing with it to this day. The opening clip on the intro was, in case you didn't know, because it wasn't really labeled or anything. That was something going on, I think, in front of the BET Awards or something. I don't know if that was in LA. It looked like LA. I just saw the clip, and I thought it was interesting. But I don't know if there was some protest going on or whatever. But then this dude shows up, in front of the Black Entertainment Channel or whatever. Beck? No. What's the T stand for? Black Entertainment Television. Okay. And he comes there with a sign that says, I think it said, "Black parents are failing" or something like that. You know, and then a lot of people took exception to that, and so they roughed him up a bit. And I'm not condoning violence or whatever, but I'm just saying, you know, we meaning, the country, the people of this country, we're still dealing with racists all these many decades and centuries later. I think we've made strides. I think we've made progress, but then we slip back and we elected Donald Trump, and then we really see how racist we really still are. Because I think a lot of us kind of thought that the racism was going away, and we never thought it was completely gone. We all have seen racism, and we've seen it. We know racists and stuff, but when Donald Trump, well, I think actually when I've told this story too before, when Barack Obama won in 2008, and I was driving a truck and I had my CB radio, and I had never heard so much this vile, open racism on the CB radio as I did the day after Obama won in 2008. And people just getting on the radio, on the CB, and just using the N-word like I've never heard it before. I mean, in terms of the amount and what they were going to do to that N-word president. They were going to hang this N-word president. They were going to kill this N-word president. I heard that over and over and over again, to the point where I just had to turn the CB off. I could not handle it. I could not take it. So you really saw that. That was a real eye opener. Like, oh my God, is this still like the 1950s or whatever, or the 1850s? And then when Trump got elected, it just really brought out, I think, even more so, like these hate groups really started coming out more, like the Proud Boys and all that shit. So yeah, you have every right to be skeptical and wary. But just know that I still think there's more good people than there are bad. And I think there are more people in this country that are not racist than there are racist. I gotta believe that. And we're all going to do whatever we can do to fight, to stop, to end this fucking racism. Because it's so stupid, and it's so cancerous, and it's so antithetical. Is that the word? Antithetical? It is so opposite of what our Constitution talks about: human rights and civil rights and equal rights and equality and all this stuff. It's in the Constitution over and over and over again. And the thing is, as they were writing it, most of these guys had slaves. A lot of them had slaves, as though, they didn't count. Massive hypocrisy, but we did fight a civil war to try to end at least the slavery part of it. The racism part of it is a different issue, but and the fight continues, and the vigilance continues, and we march on. But I don't blame your wariness and your skepticism at all. I don't blame you for that. All right, skipping on down. Skipping on down. Mr. Bob Newell, have you seen a photo of Trump's hot ass squeeze? Well, in the intro there was a parody done. I did see a photo of the supposed squeeze, I guess. Mr. Spock says, look at the reflection, TJ. 35 in the crowd. I don't even know what that means. Mr. Bob Newell, is this a new broadcast studio? Yes, this is the Trucker John Livestream broadcast studio coming at you right there on Boulder Highway, the outer rim of Las Vegas. DPD says, I think New York is finally coming around to the fact that Schumer is an asshole. After all, they did boo him at a pride parade. I really wish that Schumer would retire, and that this person right here would run for his seat. Although I do think she has presidential aspirations, but AOC wins her primary in a landslide with nearly 87% of the vote. Her house seat. If she doesn't run for president or whatever, my little scenario, I would love for her to run for Schumer's seat. I don't know if I haven't heard any plans of him retiring, but who knows? WW says there was a time when a surprised Melania Trump stumbled upon harp late at night in Trump's private quarters at Mar-a-Lago, an area that was typically off limits to those outside Trump's family. Why are we quoting this? What is this quote from? Why am I even reading it? I don't even know. Gina Maynard says Alito's family came here as immigrants from Italy. In 1914, he acts like they came here on the Mayflower. He is a ladder pulling embarrassment. DPD says, question, will Amy Coney Barrett's children be deported? Because I do believe they are Haitians. Well, yeah, I know she's adopted Haitian children, but I mean, I know that might be more of a rhetorical question, trying to point out the hypocrisy right there, but if those are her adopted children, I would assume that they would get citizenship, or that they're citizens, that those children aren't on TPS, that they are actual citizens. But I don't know. Can someone Google that for me? Can we Google that? Are Amy Coney Barrett's children U.S. citizens? I don't know. I would just assume that when a U.S. citizen adopts a child, maybe that doesn't automatically make them a U.S. citizen, but it seems like it would certainly put them on a fast track to becoming a U.S. citizen. And whatever their status is, it wouldn't be under the TPS. It would be under more of a permanent resident, at the very least. And probably I would just assume if a U.S. citizen adopts a child that's from another country, that they wouldn't be here under temporary protective service or whatever it is. That they would have a more permanent status. So, WW, I see your thumbs ups. Oh, good. Yeah, there you go. Okay. I'm glad you see them. I give you the thumbs up, and I'm like, I hope he likes this. I hope he appreciates it. W says, if either one of your parents are citizens, so are you. That's what I was just wondering about. I mean, about if you adopt a kid from another country, like if you automatically become a citizen, or whatever it is. I'm sure though it's not TPS. Jolie says, I did not like the frog dude. I do remember that. Yeah, he was a bit of a dick, I guess. I mean, but we, like I said, we kept things respectful. And but DPD says, TJ, the issue isn't the Constitution, but it's how this SCOTUS interprets the words. They want to disregard the rights and liberties of others, but when it benefits them, the Constitution becomes their Bible. Yeah, they're just hypocrites. They're hypocrites because they want to twist and turn and spin the Constitution, like you say, to fit their needs. But then, if there's parts of the Constitution that they like, then all of a sudden it's like, it's all about the this is what the framers wanted or whatever. Gina Maynard says, unless you are Barack Hussein Obama, they still won't believe you're a citizen. Hushin translates to handsome, by the way. I don't even know what that is. Dick Rich says, bigots and racists are useless fuckwads. And Josh Steves agrees. Nick Rich says, stay woke, my friends. Stay woke. Gina Maynard says, bigotry never went away. People had eventually began to keep it to themselves. MAGA liberated bigotry. It sure did. Boy, did they come out of the woodwork. Nola Karn says, racists and bigots are awful people, especially when they're in your own family. Yeah, it just breaks your heart, doesn't it? It really breaks your heart. WW says, Schumer can't retire. There is nobody to take his place. I know that many of you will disagree. Well, like I said, this person right here, I think she would win. Hey, Victor Harshman's here. Hey, Vic, good to see you. So just popped in, moving to BB's show. Oh, okay. All right, well, say hi to BB for me, Victor. Tell him Trucker John said hi. Josh says, Amy Boney Carrot. Yeah, old carrot bones. MJ Daniel says, many Americans should also remember that Italians and Irish, let's check my mic, make sure it's still on, and Irish immigrants got the same treatment that they are giving migrants from Latin America and Africa. Yeah, but it quickly kind of, or not quickly, but it eventually went away. But if you're a black person, I mean, I think we've had lesser degrees of racism, and we've had maybe better, sort of pockets of where it's better, but it's still happening. Oh, Jason Ramirez says, TJ overlooked the idea of my T-shirt with the rainbow being in the middle. Oh, I didn't see that. I just saw where he said, "Don't like it, fuck you" or something. I didn't know there was a rainbow. That makes a lot more sense, and that sounds like a good design. DBD says, yes, TJ, I was being sarcastic because ACB is the most hypocritical bitch around by stripping away the rights of her daughter's rights to have body autonomy and supposedly claim to love her black kids. Yeah, at the end of the day, she's still a right winger, you know. Gino Maynard says Obama's middle name translates to handsome. Oh, that was Hussein? I think you might have misspelled it. I thought you were trying to say Haitian or something, and I was like, what? Anyhow, I have caught up to the chat. I have caught up. What do you think of that? What do you guys think of that, huh? I think I have another meme. Let's see. Well, it's not really a meme. I think it's just a screenshot of something that I thought was interesting that we could talk about, perhaps. A quick note about Social Security, because you know how, ever since the late 30s or 40s or whenever Social Security was enacted by FDR, people have been wanting to take it away. Aha, and they're still trying to. The right wing, the Republicans of today, are still trying to. They would love nothing more than to eliminate Social Security, eliminate Medicare and Medicaid. Two of the greatest things that have benefited, mainly senior citizens, and people with health issues, low income, as far as Medicaid is concerned. Two great, wonderful programs, and the right wing, the Republican Party, would love nothing more than to eliminate those, and just promote, I guess privately run retirement funds or whatever, and just prop up even more like the big health insurance companies. But here's a quick note on Social Security. It says if you make $176,000 per year, your Social Security tax is $10,918. If you make, I guess it's $5,176,000 per year, your Social Security tax is $10,918. Want to save Social Security? Remove the cap, and it will be funded for centuries. Now, I don't know why they're saying 5,176,000. The cap is not that high, but I guess you're capped out at that 1090, 10.9. So the point is if you had no cap, then millionaires and billionaires would be taxed, and we would have so much money in the Social Security fund that it would remain solvent forever. And so I'm for that. I'm for removing the cap. Big Hook, the Big Canuck says TJ is somewhere over the rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow. I just saw Wizard of Oz at the Sphere for Father's Day, which I highly recommend if you guys are ever in Vegas and you want to go. Well, see this, go to the Sphere. I highly recommend Wizard of Oz. It was a great show. IBU Tibbings here. Sorry, late to the party. Hey, it's better late than never. Like my dad used to always tell me, better late than never. Better late than never. Josh C says they want to make it a grift for private money. Yep. Absolutely. Big Hook says, why are Republicans so motivated to destroy the fruits of America's Social Security programs? Billionaires are not going to help them after they own everything. It's because Republicans are. You talk about like the Republican politicians. They're bought and paid for by the oligarchs. They're bought and paid for by big donors. And if the big donors are telling them we want to end Social Security, then they're gonna be on the hook for that. You know, they're gonna, you know, they're bought and paid for. James Harmonios says, "Damn, is that a song about ICE? They're coming to take us away. Ha ha hee hee ho ho ha ha. Da 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 da." We're off to see the wizard. I know the song "They're Coming to Take Us Away" is not. That was the song you used to always hear on Dr. Demento. They're coming to take me away. Haha. But I kind of morphed it into the other one, into the Wizard of Oz ones. Let's see. IB YouTubing says yes, the cap needs to be removed, and perhaps other reforms are needed. Probably. I think we need to have. Well, they do have colas, but I think we need to have maybe more colas, as in cost of living adjustments. I think they should lower the age. Republicans are always wanting to raise the age. I think they should lower the age that you can start it and at full benefits. Speaking of Social Security, I just got a letter from Social Security. Remember how I said last week that I had called, or because I had filed for that QMB, which is when the state Medicaid, I guess, or the state pays for your Medicaid or your Medicare portion of your Social Security, which for me it was $202 a month, and I got approved. So I did get confirmation of that. I got a letter from Social Security Administration, basically verifying everything that I was told over the phone by the state here, Nevada. And it's kind of cool because I had been getting my Social Security checks on the second Wednesday of the month, which is kind of a hassle because, you know, rent's due tomorrow. And so it's always been kind of a hassle because the second Wednesday of the month is usually like the 10th or the 11th or the 12th. But now since they are doing the QMB thing where they're going to pay for my Medicare portion, then that automatically moves it up to the 3rd. And I think it might be starting this month, the way they made it sound. And they're also going to send me $405 on July 15th to like a back pay, because they're able to back up the Medicare payments to, I guess, March, April, May, or maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's April and May. So that's good news for me. Bless my little heart. So just an update on my Social Security situation. So that means that's going to free up an extra $200, and that'll be nice. That'll be nice. And that's why, you know, it scares me though, having really any Republican in an office in the White House, let alone Donald Trump, who's the worst ever, and these fucking Mike Johnson, these fucking Republicans in Congress. It's scary. If you're on Social Security and Medicare and you're on a fixed budget, a fixed income, and you're not a millionaire, and you're relying on Social Security and you're relying on Medicare, it's scary. Like every time I get a notice from Social Security that, you know, because I'm paperless pretty much. Sometimes they send stuff in the mail, but I've gone paperless. So they'll send me an email saying you have a you have a notification or whatever, you have a message in your Social Security account. And every time I'm nervous just to open the page because I don't know. I mean, with this administration, the way they're running things, and I'm always afraid like it's going to be some bad news, But knock on wood, I mean, it's been good news, but it's always scary, because you hear these stories about people getting kicked off of Social Security for no reason or whatever, just because of the incompetence of this administration or because of the hatefulness of this administration or whatever. And so I'm always nervous to even go and look at the notification. But so far it's been good news. But it's scary. So all you old people out there, like me, and if you're on Social Security and Medicare, please stop voting for Republicans. Please stop voting against your own best interests. Please. We're all in this together. All us old people, we're in this together. We need to stop electing people that are going to take away our benefits and take away really the things that we've paid into our whole lives. We paid into Social Security our whole lives. We paid into Medicare our whole lives. Please stop voting for these right-wing motherfucking cocksuckers, son of a bitches, that really don't have your best interests at heart. They don't give one shit. They don't give one shit. Not even one shit. So stop voting for them. When we have Democratic Congress and a Democrat in the White House, that's when we started seeing it. More COLAs going into effect, and we saw raises, and we saw some raises in Social Security pay. So all you old people, stop. All you old people who vote for Republicans, stop it. Please just stop it. You're stupid. You're being stupid. You're way too old to get abortions and shit anyhow, so what the fuck do you care about that? Stop voting for Republicans. If you're anyone who's over 60 should not be voting for Republicans. And I don't think anyone should be voting for Republicans, but you know what I mean. Let's see. Who else here? DBD says the Nazi agenda is to privatize the entire government. Yeah, because they want everything. They want all the money. They see the tranches of cash in these programs, and they want it all for them and for their businesses and their business buddies. Anna Moore says, we are a consumer-driven economy. We can break these billionaires by not patronizing them. Do not support billionaire corporations. Well, I mean, that's I agree, but it's hard to not find. It's if we're looking for mom and pop shops, those are, I don't know. The horse might be out of the barn on that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to support small businesses. But I mean, maybe that's a cop out. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe that's on my part, cop out. Maybe we need to just look harder, I guess, and support small businesses. I agree. I'm YouTubing says billionaires are greedy. Reagan's trickle down economics does not work. It's been. I think we can pretty much say that it's been proven that trickle down voodoo supply side economics does not work. Big hook, big hook. It's like AI. If all the jobs are replaced with computers and the economy collapses, and unless the oligarchs are going to give everyone a universal basic income to live, then it's pitchfork time for them. That's why another reason, vote for Democrats, and I think Democratic Socialists, because they are, I think, in favor of not only a UBI, but I've heard ideas kicked around about, if not a UBI, but like a kind of like what they do in Alaska. Like the oil companies give people a check every year. I forget what you call it, but something like that, like a dividend check. You know, if all these companies are just making all this money, but we don't have any jobs, give us a fucking dividend or whatever, you know? And then we'll have money and we can buy more of your shit, you know? I think they make it retroactive. Yeah, for like 2 months. If we're talking about that, the Medicare payment. So they're apparently on July 15th, I'm going to get a check or, you know, a direct deposit for 2 months worth. So I guess it would be April and May. DVD bless you. Oh, because I sneezed. Yeah. Jolie's back. The question is Aaron back? Or is Aaron here? Because you know. DVD says no one should have to live in fear and be held hostage in that way. I agree. Big Hook says if we return to FDR taxation, the rich will still remain rich. I don't get it. They already have everything they could possibly want in spades. It's more money than they could possibly spend in their life. It's a sickness, Big Hook. I've talked about this before. I think it's a sickness. Let me check my mic, make sure it's still on. I think for some people like Elon Musk or even Jeff Bezos, I think when you start seeing gobs of money coming in, that it's like an adrenaline rush. It's like an endorphin boost or something. And I think they become addicted to that, and they just want more and more money because of that rush. It gets to see those numbers continue, those zeros that keep spreading out, you know. And it's like an addiction. It's a sickness, and because they have more money than they could ever possibly spend, you know. Christina Weibel says, hello, leave my Social Security alone, maggots. Yeah, and don't you agree, though? Like, okay, we need to tell all of our old friends to stop voting for Republicans because, you know, it's just a way of cutting your own throat. IBUTube says, hello, everyone. Don't believe I have ever voted for a Republican, and I will die before I do. You and me both, IBUTubing. I've never voted for a Republican in my life. Never. At least not in a partisan election. I think I have voted for mayor of Palmdale, which is a nonpartisan. In other words, they don't say what party they are. And I think I did vote for a guy who turned out to be a Republican. But other than that, I've never voted for anyone who was openly Republican or in a like a partisan election. And I don't believe I'll ever vote for one. It would take like a complete reversal of the party's platforms, you know, to do that. Bob Newell, tell us about your experience as an ape. Yeah, I already did that, Bob. We're not going to rehash that. All right. I know you're trying to be funny. I just did the ape thing the other day. We're done with that for now, okay? Christina Weiler says GOP is already talking about changing the Constitution to get rid of birthright citizenship. We need to codify birthright in the Constitution. I thought that's what the 14th Amendment. I thought it was codified in there. I don't know. I just read Section 1 of the 14th Amendment. I thought that pretty much settles it. But anyhow, yeah, if we need to codify it, then sure, fine, let's do it. Christina Weibel, do or die Democrat voter here. I am a Democratic myself. I am a Democratic, vote blue no matter who. Dyed in the wool Democrat my whole life. Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. Like I said earlier, and how whatchamacallit, what's his face? Ezra Klein sent that letter out saying, like, you know, okay, we might have some differences in the primaries. Vote to your heart's content. Vote for whomever you want. And then we're talking about, Democrats. Vote for whether it's a Democratic Socialist, whether it's a centrist, a moderate, liberal, progressive, whoever it is you like, go ahead and you vote for them. But then whoever wins that nomination, then you vote. You buck up, you pull up, you put the big boy pants on, and you go and you vote for that nominee, even if it was the person that you didn't want. You vote for the nominee of your party. You're a registered member of that party. You should be supporting that party. If you don't like if you don't like the candidates so much that you can't vote for them, then maybe you're in the wrong party, James Carville. In the primary, vote for whoever you want, and in the general, you vote for the nominee of your party. And then afterwards, you win that election. And then afterwards, if you have issues, then you write that person, you call that person, you go to town halls and you say, hey, look, I think you should address this issue, or I don't agree with you on this issue. But you do that after the election. Because the important thing is to get, there are other important things, but one of the most important things is to win that seat and get that majority, because we see how important it is to have majorities in these legislative bodies. MJ Daniel, trickle down is working exactly as designed. Yeah. They just sold us a bill of goods, but for the rich corporate donors, and it worked exactly how they wanted it to work, I guess. I'm just skipping down a little bit here. Sort of needle dropping a little bit. Big Hook says, rich people are so unhappy, they have to make everyone else unhappy. I say tax the crap out of them and share the wealth into the society they stole it from. The rich have nothing to complain about. Yep, I agree. I think that they should be taxed. The more you make, the more you should pay. That's what I think. iPeople yesterday, I'll be 70 on Saturday and have never voted for Republican. Good for you, iPeople yesterday. Good for you. Roxanne Armfield says, I just found a note peeking from under my welcome mat stating that my water will be turned off while working on the underground pipes. Oh, okay. I was worried it was because of like non-payment or something. I mean, it's a hassle, but at least they're going to work on the pipes for you. So, that shit happens, MJ Daniel says the old Secretary of State here in Washington made our mail-in ballots postage free. She is Republican. Only one I have voted for since the 90s. She was hired by the Biden administration. Okay, I'll allow it, MJ. I'll allow it in this one instance, okay? Christina Weibel, we need to make it permanent. What was I talking about to make it permanent? I'm not sure what that was about. IB YouTubing says, in the general election, vote Democrats down the ballot. That's right. Vote blue all up and down that, all up and down that motherfucker. MJ Daniel Carville's an ass. I agree. I don't like him. I don't like him. James says, Roxanne, you shouldn't have to go without water because of nothing that is not your doing. Well, I mean, if they have to fix the pipes, you might have to have the water shut off for a little bit. Let them repair the pipes and get nice new pipes in there, for crying out loud. Roxanne says, luckily this has happened before, so I have a 5-gallon jugs of water on hand, and I can always go over to my sister's. Well, hopefully they get the pipe situation fixed so it doesn't keep happening. You know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? All right, I think we're probably gonna call an end to the show before the battery on my microphone dies. I'm probably gonna be ordering a new microphone pretty soon. It will probably still be on the chopstick, although it will have a nice new clip. I could probably just clip it to my shirt. But I've grown attached to this chopstick setup. But I think I'm gonna get a new mic, and maybe the sound quality will be a little bit better. I've noticed in the playbacks, I'm not really satisfied with the sound quality. It does seem a little tinny. Is that the word? Tinny? I don't know. So a little bit of an upgrade. This was probably, like I said, I got a 2-pack for $6 and something cents. So this is like a $3 and something cents microphone. I'm upgrading to a regular price, 20 something, and they have them on sale for 16 something. So I'm upgrading to the $16, or I guess a 20 something dollar microphone. DPD, another $20 from DPD. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Yippee to DPD. There's a thumbs up for you and a heart. DPD says the citizen is it Oklahoma? The citizens in Oklahoma? Oklahoma is okay. Just voted against raising the minimum wage. Maybe they're not okay. Which stands at $7.25. Overtime, it would have not overtime, but like over time, it would have rose to $15. Why do people continue to vote against their own self-interest? Because they're brainwashed. They've been listening to Fox News for 20, 30 years. They've been listening to right-wing radio for 20 or 30 years. They've been listening to, all these right-wingers, and even to the point where their churches are now involved. They're churches that probably should be losing their tax-exempt status because they preach politics from the pulpit. And they believe that there should be no minimum wage at all. And that it should just be the market should dictate what people pay. And if people don't like the pay, they can go somewhere else, or all this kind of shit. But, that's their mentality. That's their argument. Yeah, it's ridiculous. They vote against their own self-interest because they're brainwashed. The right-wingers have a really good brainwashing mechanism going on, because I think they make these claims that if you raise the minimum wage, that businesses are going to go under. And there's been study after study, because in places like Seattle, for instance, or LA, where they have raised minimum wages to $15 and $20 an hour, there's no indications that it's causing businesses to go out of business. In fact, those areas are thriving. IBU Tipping says, I'm concerned, why did the Trump administration want our state's voter rolls Governor Abbott of Texas was quick to turn them over. The other red states have complied the most, if not all. Blue states have refused. Yeah. And that's what we talked about earlier about Steiner, the Postmaster General, when he was asked at a congressional hearing, he was asked point blank, will you deliver ballots from states that have not complied with the White House request for the voter registration rolls? And he very plainly said no. So that's an issue that we need to stay on top of, because every vote should be counted. Every vote should be delivered. The Postmaster General does not have the right to not deliver U.S. mail. That's really, you had one job, Steiner. You got one job. It's to deliver the goddamn mail. You're not to be a lick-spittle sycophant of Donald Trump. Steiner. I guess that was his name. So yeah, we need to watch that. And all of us blue state people, I have a Republican governor where I'm at. So I guess we're purple because we have almost all Democratic representation in the House and the Senate, but we have a maggot governor. As far as I know, I think we're okay here as far as our ballots being counted. But we need to keep on it. And we need our blue governors, our Democratic governors, and get Democratic state legislatures or whatever to make sure that they do whatever it is they need to do to make sure that those votes get counted. Because delivered and counted. Once they're delivered, they'll be counted. But yeah, this is egregious. This is an egregious affront on our democratic process. Big hook. Nobody can live off poverty wages. It's stupidity on steroids. Yeah, it is. DPD so they can purge the Democrats from the rolls. I don't know if they can purge Democrats from the rolls. I mean, the states, they handle all their own elections. So I don't see how they can purge. I don't see how the federal government can purge people off of the state's voter registration rolls. That's the state's responsibility to handle that. Christina Weibel, what I mean, John, when I say make birthright permanent, I meant, okay, I wasn't sure what we were talking about. I meant that our Constitution needs an upgrade so the GOP can't change it. Okay, but I just thought the Constitution was permanent. Oh, I don't know. Josh, dude's fucking job. Yes, Steiner, you had one fucking job. It's to deliver the fucking mail. And you just said under oath that you're not going to deliver the mail. You should be fired immediately. The Board of Governors should fire this motherfucker immediately. He said under oath that he will not deliver mail. How can the Postmaster General get away with that? They should immediately fire his ass and replace him with Trucker John. Hey, I'm a former postal worker. I'll take the job. I'll do it. I think I'm every bit as qualified as that motherfucker. I got 12 years postal service. Big Hook says Washington proved that to be. Oh, they proved that to be a falsehood. The more money everyone has, yeah, the better the economy does. Raising wage floats all boats and keeps society functional. Absolutely, Big Hook. Absolutely. DPD with a $2 super sticker. Thank you, DPD. Thank you. End of the month. This is the last day of the month. We're getting those in. So thank you so much. We got the little, like, I don't know, fist bumping thing or whatever that is. Thank you, DBD. Appreciate you. Christine Weill says Postmaster General is blocked by a federal judge, so he can't do any of that BS. Let's hope that holds. Holding. It's like Braveheart, you know. Hold. Yeah, let's hope that holds. But thanks for that update, Christina. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, YouTube, did anyone attend the fair? I don't think anyone attended the fair in the whole world, other than the 5 people I saw that were doing live streams and shit. MJ Daniel says the old state AG here is governor, and new AG was Amy Jag, and they have both warned the USPS. We are going to take our ballots directly to the elections office anyway. Can't be too careful. Yeah. Yeah, these Republicans are always just got to stir up the shit, don't they? Can't we just vote? I see Aaron's here. I see Jolie's here. As we end the show, and I've confirmed that we have Aaron and Jolie in the chat. You know what that means? West WW, you know what this means? We, even though the show is almost ending, and we have been, I'm sure, for most of the show, we have been at, and are currently at, full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. We're at full mod capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at full mod capacity. Thank you so much. We've got 26 watching. We have 40 thumbs ups. So we are operating like good Democrats today. That makes me feel good. We have a big old surplus of thumbs up. So thank you so much. If you watch this on the replay, make sure you like and subscribe and share. And even if you are not watching the replay, like, subscribe, share, hype, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for being here. Waiting for that to come up. Sometimes it's slow. There we go. Thank you guys for being there, being here. Yeah, I just want to say real quick before Trucker John's mic dies and before he kicks us out of here, thanks guys for being here. Thanks for helping us with a great month of June. We had a really great month, and thanks for being here. And I can't wait for Trucker John's Social Security check to come in because I'm going to steal it. Nah, I don't. I'm just kidding. But hey, thanks for being here, guys. And happy July. Hey, happy 250s coming up. Yeah, happy 250 coming up. You guys are lucky. My cookie country, we've only been around for, I think, only about 90 days. I mean, the lifespan of a cookie, what is the lifespan of a cookie? So where I come from, we're only, it's like 90-day country. You know what I mean? He's funny. Here I am. Is this thing on? Is this still working? Hey, thanks guys for being here. Hey, let's turn red to purple, purple to blue. Happy 250. I second that motion. We're coming up. So when is July 4th? Let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday? Saturday, 4th of July, we'd be celebrating the 250. So let's celebrate safe and sanely and have a good one. No matter what, let's not let Trump and his goons ruin our celebration. We can still, we don't need his stupid, fair 250 with masturbating Uncle Sam's. We don't need that. We can do our own thing. We can have our own celebrations. So go out there and have a good time and celebrate the 250. All right? And we'll be on Trucker John, right? We're going to be on, we'll be on a Thursday, right? So on the 2nd. We'll see you on the 2nd. Thanks for being here, everybody. You guys are awesome. There. Poof. Poof. All right. Tough Cookie. Paul, the Purple Beard Guy. Thank you guys so much for popping in. I do appreciate you. Thanks to everybody else for being here today. We will be back on Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I will try to get my intro done. I wish I could just use AI to do it and just boom, like it's done in 2 seconds or something. But I'll try to get that done so we don't have people waiting too long for that. But I'll see you guys Thursday, 9 a.m.-ish. Pacific time-ish. Well, it's not ish on that one. And we'll see you. Thanks so much for the donos. Thank you, DPD. Let's see. We got fan funding here. Thanks, DPD, $20 super chat. DPD and other $20 super chat. So yippee, yippee, yippee. And then we had DPD with a $2 super sticker. Thank you so much again. We've got Brooklyn 13-month truckiversary. WW 19-month truckiversary. Yippee, yippee. Nola Carnes, $5 super stickers. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Last day of June, so that was really good. That was really nice. And it's always good, though, to get that support, and I do appreciate you. Jolie says, Trump being president has ruined the 250 celebrations. I feel like something has been stolen from the U.S. Well, yeah, you know what? But don't let him do that. You go have yourself a really good time with your daughters and your family and friends. Fuck Trump, fuck MAGA, fuck all those assholes. You can still have a good time. You know, just screw those guys. Thank you, DPD. Also, they're coming in there. Okay, so words of wisdom. Final words of wisdom for today. Before this old mic, this mic might die at any minute now. So just... you have something to write with this down? Words of wisdom, it's worth writing down. Okay, you ready? And also, by the way, let's get more subscribers. We're at over 4,500 now. 5K Hennessy Day. That's the one we're really going to celebrate. Okay, you guys ready for words of wisdom? You got your pen and paper ready? Okay, here we go. Before the mic dies, because it might die at any time now. Okay, ready? So today's words of wisdom is pretty appropriate to...
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid, at least when I was out there driving. Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, and movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shrugs, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
I don't mourn when evil men die. I don't feel sad and I don't cry. Sometimes I wonder why it takes so long for evil men to die. But I want you to know that when you go, you won't be missed. And the ground where you'll lay, we're all gonna take a big giant piss. And for your end, we all anticipate, without any love and too exhausted to hate. Your long-lasting legacy will be one of disgrace and shame. Throughout the annals of history, your name will shrink, you'll lose your fame. And as you lay there drawing in your final breath, just know that you made us happiest in death. You will not be thought of kindly, and you won't be missed. And like I said before, on the ground you'll lay, I'm gonna take a big old piss.
Show's over, I'm out of here, folks. Bye.